KBCO on the air since 1977.
Seems like it was only yesterday.
Good evening. I'm Richard Ray.
I'm Ginger.
We've got Stevie Ray Vaughan here in the studio this afternoon at KBCO.
But looking back, that makes a pretty good theme set.
What began in 1977 as a modest 250-watt local radio station broadcasting out of the little town of Boulder, Colorado, has, 41 years later, turned into the nationally known 97.3 KBCO world-class rock.
We drove in and we were told to go straight to the bank. So it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And we closed on the loan. And by then, the previous owners of the station had already prepared the sign-off, which said, owned and operated by Centennial Investment and Management, Boulder, Colorado.
Centennial Wireless.
Oh, Centennial, you're right, Centennial Wireless. And then we started the next day.
Along the way, KBCO set the standards and benchmarks that every adult rock station strives for. Creativity, balanced with radio fundamentals and a strong commitment to the local community. KBCO is also the founding station of the adult album alternative.
Through the years, there were different names. There was album rock, adult rock. A lot of times we just, it was kind of the KBCO format. I give credit to our audience because they're very musically keen and they accepted it and they welcome this variety of music. I mean, if not for them and their support, we wouldn't be able to keep stirring this pot, this musical stew.
The original vision was to create a music station that reflected the unique community of Boulder. On the air, it was called Boulder Radio, with a mix of soft acoustic Colorado music.
That's right, and I had precious little to do with programming at KBCO and KADE. In fact, the only time that I was ever put to use at the radio station was occasionally when the program staff would have a discussion about, do you think that this new record fits with what we're doing or not? And they would sit around in their music review session and occasionally say, well, let's see what Bob thinks. And so they'd bring me in and they'd play something and say, well, what do you think of that? And if I hated it, they would program it. And if I liked it, they would make sure it was automatically removed from the playlist.
By the winter of 1988, KBCO was voted the #1 rated station in the Denver radio market.
Well, because KBCO is in a AAA radio format, which is not a mainstream radio format, it gives us the opportunity to expose a lot of music that's not being played everywhere else. I mean, back in the early days, I remember Lyle Lovett and Bonnie Raitt. But I do think that there's been so many great artists that have grown up here and are from here. I mean, if you think about it, the list is amazing. There's Chris Daniels and the Kings. There's Big Head Todd and the Monsters. There's a lot of bands from Colorado. In fact, Isaac Slade from The Fray came by with a video camera in his hand when he was in high school to film a Studio C session.
It's a regular stop for new and upcoming artists to play in KBCO Studio C for their fans and for the exposure. And also, the incredible opportunity to be included on the annual CD that is released each December.
When artists came by the radio station, we would ask them to play live on the air in an acoustic setting, and that was very unusual for the time because back in the 80s, radio stations weren't about to let artists come in and play live. They just would rather play their pre-processed recording stuff. So we brought them in, and our on-air studio was Studio A, our newsroom was B, and we had 3 production rooms where we would record other things, C, D, and E. And we happened to bring the artists into Studio C. And it eventually got to be referred to on the air as, Bruce Coburn is in Studio C. That was just an internal thing that we were saying, but it came out on the air and we latched onto it and started calling it Live from Studio C, the location when the artists would play live.
Brilliant branding. It's just the name of the studio.
Before there was streaming, when CDs were the way we actually bought our music, 30,000 copies of the popular KBCO Studio C series would sell out in just 4 hours.
Well, one of the great things about radio is that it brings people together. I mean, if you're one person and you want to do something good in your community, what are you going to do, you know? But if you're the radio station and you're listening to the radio and you hear that there's something going on in the community that you can become involved with, it brings people together. And the power of people together in numbers can do more good. You know, like the KBCO Studio C CD, we sell 30,000 copies of that thing every year. And we've raised over $2 million for the Boulder County AIDS Project. And now we brought the Food Bank of the Rockies in too. So we feel that it's a really great way to bring the community together and do good.
This December 2018, KBCO Studio C is celebrating its 30th anniversary with a special 2-CD set that contains some of the best music ever performed and recorded live on the radio. KBCO's dedication to Colorado music and musicians comes to life with their Local Edition program, which has been airing weekly for more than 30 years. Local Edition is a way of giving a voice to the local music community. Over the years, KBCO has showcased local artists right alongside the national acts and their recordings that were released on the Studio C CD series. KBCO has always embraced the fun Colorado lifestyle. And in 1980, KBCO launched the Kinetic Sculpture Challenge.
This race included a bicycle device, or sculpture, as the sculpture challenge was, that would get you across land, through the mud, across the water. People got all these crazy costumes. One of the ideas that I had as I came on and got more involved in it was to bring a band to it. But it was a huge event, and it was embraced by not only Boulder, but all of Denver, and it helped us spread the word of KBCO to everybody, you know, in the whole market.
During the winter, KBCO created the Cardboard Derby. Contestants created their crafts out of cardboard boxes and raced them down the slopes at local ski resorts.
It was just crazy to see these vehicles, crafts, coming down the hill. You know, it looks like the Yellow Submarine is coming right at you. The artwork was amazing. The creativity, the costumes, and, you know, out there in the snow is just so much fun. It was the snow version of Kinetics, without the parade.
KBCO hosts hundreds of live concert events, from their years presenting the 4th of July fireworks at Folsom Stadium, to special shows at small local venues, to hundreds of shows at Red Rocks, and venues like the Pepsi Center and Fiddler's Green.
Well, radio's changed because technology changed. Once they introduced digital music, everything changed. Record companies changed. Everything changed. The way we listen to music, the way music is delivered, the way music is absorbed and consumed changed completely. And KBCO had to change with it.
KBCO has managed to navigate the rough waters of corporate buyouts and management changes in order to keep KBCO relevant.
A secret to KBCO's success from the 70s, 80s, up to today is the people. And there was a tremendous group of people that worked there in the beginning, and there's a tremendous group of people that work there now, and that's why they still survive. It's the people behind the music, behind the microphone, behind the promotions.
And I'll add one more word to that. I think it's respect. I think that KBCO has always had a lot of respect for its audience, for its community, and for the artists that they play. And I think that respect is recognized and is reciprocated by the music community, by the actual community. And you know, that's a rare thing in business today, is to have a company that still has that sense of respect for everything they do.
From the first time that I heard that there was something going on with regard to the situation and the Music Hall of Fame, I never said that this is anything that Bob and Diane ought to be recognized for, but recognizing the radio station and the crew that operated it. We're very gratified to be part of the Colorado Music Hall of Fame, and thank everybody who was involved in making that happen.
Speaking for all the people who've worked at KBCO from the beginning till now who couldn't be interviewed, I'm here to represent all of them and say, what an honor to be inducted into the Colorado Music Hall of Fame. And you know what? We really wouldn't be here without the listeners, so we've got to thank the listeners. Anybody who's ever tuned in at 97.3, yeah, we wouldn't be here without you, so thank you.
KBCO has been a good portion of my life. I've spent 2/3 of my life working at KBCO, and every day I look forward to it. And one of the main reasons I look forward to it is the people on the other side, the people that are listening. So I want to thank KBCO listeners for all their years of support, or maybe it's days of support. Maybe they just started listening, or they've been there for 41 years. But obviously we wouldn't be here without you, and I thank you.
You know, I can't really think about Red Rocks and playing Colorado without KBCO. You guys have played me over the decades, long before Nick of Time. You guys have been supporting me and playing great music by my peers, and all of us love you for it. And I congratulate you tonight on many, many years of great, great curating music and getting all those seats in the place for those of us, because you put us on the air. I love all of you. I love the history of the station. On behalf of decades of DJs and programmers, thank you so much and congrats.
The Colorado Music Hall of Fame, presented by Comfort Dental, is proud to induct 97.3 KBCO for their incredible contribution to Colorado music.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and